You were born on a battlefield. Now, see where this long war began and where it ends. Israel. Join Derek and Sharon Gilbert and special guest Carl Tykrib in the Holy Land this October, where you'll see things like this. At the base of Mount Hermon is a cave that has had ritual connections for many, many years. Our good friend Dr. Judd Burton did his doctoral dissertation on the religious history of Banias, called Banias now because of the Arabic pronunciation of the P vowel, formerly Panias because of the Greek god Pan. And that's not a coincidence that you've got a goat demon connected to this location. Now, when you go there, there's the cute little picture, cartoon goats, satyr. Welcome to Panias.
No, satyrs aren't cute. They're not cute and cuddly.
The Israelites were condemned for sacrificing to goat demons during their time in the desert, the Seirim. And this was a cult location where sacrifices were thrown into the cave. Now, in former days, it was the source of the River Jordan. And at some point in its history, the seismological activity, earthquake, shifted the Jordan. It comes out further down, and you'll see the river there as we approach the cave. But the cave itself was still really imposing. This was the site of Caesarea Philippi.
And you can see the ruins of Caesarea Philippi there. You see some of the columns. We took so many photographs. And once again, thank you, Taylor Joseph, who was the cameraman for much of the time.
Yes.
Boy, you know what? When we went to Panias, you preached.
He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter replied, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him, "Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven." Why did Jesus pick this place? Because for thousands of years prior to this, this was a site of pagan cult worship, dedicated to the god Pan, but also, our friend Dr. Burton says, probably some fertility god of the Canaanites prior to that. It was believed that when they threw their sacrifice into the pool, if it sank, the god accepted it. If it didn't, the god had rejected it. There are some accounts, some archaeological evidence to suggest that even human sacrifice took place here. And remember, we are in the region of Bashan, which everyone in the ancient world knew was the entrance to the netherworld. Which is why Jesus' next line makes so much sense. It's so powerful. I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. Amen. And the gates of hell, which by the way are right over here, will not prevail against it.
Amen.
Amen. That's why Jesus brought the disciples here. That's why he had that revelation. Peter suddenly realizes, you're the Messiah. Right here at the base of the mountain, that was the Mount of Assembly for the Creator God of the people who had surrounded the Israelites for thousands of years, by about 1,500 years by that point. And then after 6 days, Jesus took Peter and James and John up this mountain and was transfigured into a being of light. That was sending a flare into the spirit realm. Here I am! Come get some! And from there, he went to Jerusalem to fulfill his mission. And as Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 2, if the rulers of this age, if the rulers, the archons, he wasn't talking about politicians, the principalities and powers had understood what was going on, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. He poked them in the eye, made them mad, and they did just what he wanted them to do. And because of that, we are saved.
Amen.
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 Join Derek and Sharon Gilbert and special guest researcher, author, and lecturer Carl Tykrib in Israel, October 19th through 30th, 2025. This is not the typical tour of Israel. For information and to reserve your place on the 2025 Gilbert House Tour of Israel, please log on to gilberthouse.org/travel. That's gilberthouse.org/travel.